Hey, you are. Good morning and welcome to Buckeye Wars. What's Buckeye Wars? You've never heard of Buckeye Wars? Well, hi. Buckeye Wars is a little series that I've put together. I've been working on now, maybe a little over a year. Little stories, memories that I wanted to jot down before my mind turns to mush. Of me growing up in El Dorado Hills, California in the 70s and the 80s. Little stories, kind of fun. So, what do you think about knives? Did you have a knife as a kid? Were you allowed to have a knife as a kid? Well, back in the 70s and the 80s were different times. And I wanted to share something with you. My grandfather was a very, very cool man. He started off teaching, I believe, high school? Not sure about that. Wood shop. And he did that for a while. So he really appreciated tools. And then he became a farmer and owned several acres and raised cattle, grew corn, alfalfa, soybeans, and we would spend our summers out in Illinois on the farm because both my parents were teachers and they had the summer off. So we would go and visit Grandma and Grandpa out at the farm. Now, picture this. Back to my question about knives. I'm 5 years old, and my grandfather gives me this. It's a money clip. It's got a little itty bitty. Let me see if I can open it and still hold the phone. Dooga. Ugh. Dooga. I can get one side. Sorry about the bumping around. Ugh. Kind of hard to do one-handed. Anyway, I got part of it. See that? Little itty bitty blade. And then the other side, right there, opens up just like this side does. And it's a nail file. But both are pointy. Anyway, and it's a money clip. And he was a farmer, and on that, close it. Doink. On that side right there used to say Kent. It was green, and the writing on it was yellow, and it said Kent. Now, Kent was the granary, I think that's what you would call it, where when he sold his corn or his oats, they would put it in a big old, big old bin, big old tower thingamajiggy. And it was owned by Kent, which was a major name in farming. Nevertheless, he gives this to me when I'm 5 and tells me, this is your pocket knife. Carry it all the time. This is important. You want to, as a boy, you want to always have a pocket knife because you never know if you need to cut something, and you'll have a tool. Now, I'm 60 and I still have this little knife that my grandfather gave me when I was 5 years old. Now, I keep it inside my wallet. It pins just right inside part of my wallet, and I always have it with me. And since then, I also carry just a little pocket knife, a little I guess the old timers would call it a pen knife. It's not a buck knife. I wish it was a buck knife, but buck knives are expensive. See this little guy here? It's got one blade, and it locks into place. And then you got to push that little button right there to release the lock so that it will close again. But just a little bitty pocket knife. And I carry that all the flippin' time. Always have my pocket knife. And I always have the knife that my grandfather gave me. And it's not much of a knife, a little itty bitty knife. But I've cut stuff with that. I've cleaned fish with that little bitty knife. So my question to you, please answer in the comments. You carry a pocket knife? You youngins, I don't know, anything younger than 30, do you carry a pocket knife? Have you ever carried a pocket knife? Now, itchy, sorry. Back when we used to hike the foothills in El Dorado Hills, I would strap on a sheath knife. You know those long knives that are maybe, I don't know, 6 inches long, and they go in a sheath, kind of like Daniel Boone used to carry? We used to strap on one of those because I had a lot of them. My dad loved knives, and he'd give us knives. And we'd strap that on our side, and we'd hike up in the hills, and we'd cut anything we could. But my question is, do boys, men, still carry pocket knives? I know back in my grandfather's day, everybody had a pocket knife. It was just something you did. And I think my dad carried a pocket knife always too. But is that something that's still done? Do you carry a pocket knife? No, let me know in the comments. I am so curious. Anyway, I did. And it was part of my growing up in El Dorado Hills, California in the 70s and the 80s. Thank you for joining me. Buckeye Wars.